Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. Yes, this is a special session by NCSL, that is National Centre for School Leadership at NIEPA. This particular session is specially meant for the school heads of the country, and every Friday we bring you this session from 5:30 p.m. onwards. And today the topic that we have taken up is extremely interesting, and we will get to know a lot more about this particular school, about the different efforts that have been made by the school leader and what all changes the students, the community and everybody is witnessing around. The topic for today's session is leading an Eklavya model residential school in Gyalshing district, Sikkim. Yes, the beautiful Sikkim. And in case you have any questions you would like to ask from our experts today, you can definitely call us. It's a live and interactive session. You are right now watching us on our eVidya channels 6, 9 and 12 and also on our YouTube channel ncertofficial. Well, our phone number is flashing on your screen and this is 8800440559. In case you want to send us your question, your feedback instantly, then you can drop a comment on our live chat box on our YouTube channel ncertofficial. Apart from that, you also have our email ID. Of course, you can text us anything related to today's session later also on dth.class 12, 6 or 9, whatever number you wish to use at ciet.nic.in. And now let me introduce you all to our guests for today. Well, today's session is going to be on leading an Eklavya model residential school in Gyalshing district, Sikkim. And to know more about this particular school, we are joined by two experts. We have with us Ms. Tripti Singh. Ma'am is Assistant Professor from NCSL NIEPA. Namaskar ma'am, welcome to the session. And then we have another esteemed guest from the school itself. We are joined by Shri Siddharth Yonzon, Sir is Principal from EMRS Background district, Gyalshing, Sikkim. Namaskar sir and welcome to the session.
Namaskar ma'am, a very good evening.
Good evening, and please excuse my pronunciation for the district because I'm sure you will tell us better how it is pronounced and about your area and everything. So ma'am, before we go ahead with the conversation with the school leader, I want to ask you about the highlights of this particular session. What all we are going to cover in this session. I request you to kindly share an overview of the same with us.
Thank you, Harpreet. Good evening, everybody over here. So, as per today's theme, the theme for today is leading an EMRS, that is Eklavya Model Residential School in Gyalshing district, Sikkim. So, as the name suggests, we are having a live session, a special live session which is on Eklavya Model Residential Schools in one of the most beautiful states of India, that is Sikkim. EMRS were introduced in 1997-98 to provide quality upper primary, secondary, higher secondary education to the students belonging to the tribal communities and living in the tribal belt areas. Further, to enable them to have an equal opportunity in the field of education and to bring them at par with the general population, these EMRS schools were established. So, moving ahead, we can have our PPT. On the PPT we can see.
Yes, you can see our PPT on the screen now, where we will learn more about this Eklavya model residential schools.
Yes. So, in the context of trend of establishing quality residential schools, Harpreet, as I already told you, these are the schools which take place there among the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas, the Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas and the Kendriya Vidyalayas. They are set up in states and UTs with the grants under Article 275(1) of the Constitution of India. States and UTs are free to apportion funds out of their Article 275(1) grants to construct and run additional EMRS over the number sanctioned by the ministry. They are under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. The ministry support to the state UTs for the EMRS program are and will be subject to the ensuring high quality of education. Further objective of EMRS, if we see, for providing comprehensive physical, mental and socially relevant development of all students enrolled in each and every EMRS. Basically, our EMRS are involved for the overall holistic development of the students living in tribal belt areas.
Very nice.
Focusing on educational support to be made available for especially the classes 9 to 12 and those in standards 6 to 10th. So, support the annual running expenses in a manner that offers reasonable remuneration to the staff and upkeep the facilities, and also at last to support the construction of infrastructure that provides educational, physical and environmental cultural needs of student life.
Right.
So, what all EMRS Sikkim is doing, that Shri Siddhant Yonzon will be telling us in detail what is happening in the school in Sikkim.
Absolutely, that is something we all are looking forward to. And Siddharth sir, I have my next question to you only. We've learned about the school through Tripti ma'am. You know, she explained nicely what these schools are all about and what is their objective or the objective behind the establishment of such schools. If we talk about your school, you know, I request you to kindly share an insight of your school, its context, its geography. What I have learned just now, that these schools are specially meant for the kids from tribal communities. I'm sure these schools are witnessing a lot of scenic beauty, you know. So would like to know about the surrounding environment of your school, geography, and how many students are there, enrollment, and what new is happening there.
Yes, ma'am. EMRS or Eklavya Model Residential School, Gangyap, mostly caters to the underprivileged tribal children of the state. So Sikkim has 5 different communities, 5 different tribal communities. I mean, so we have the Lepchas, the Bhutias, the Limbus, the Tamangs, and the Sherpas.
Okay.
And one of the main ideas behind enrolling them in the school was to provide them with a good public school education. See, Eklavya Model Residential School, Gangyap, is very remotely located, outskirts of West Sikkim, and we are located at an altitude of almost 6,400 feet high. We have very cold winters.
Wow, yeah.
And we have a lot of rains during the monsoons. The monsoons are very stretched.
Okay.
And yes, so there are several times when we are locked out to the rest of the state also due to many landslides happening, frequent landslides during the monsoon times. Gangyap is a very small village where the school is located. It's a tribal pocket. There are about hardly 700 people in population. So many of the students come from the other districts of Sikkim, and not just districts, the different constituencies of West Sikkim, and most of them are belonging to the first generation group. Their parents, many of their parents have never actually received a formal education as such. We have this year about 418 students in our school, and we have about 220 of them are actually girls, and the remaining are boys. So it's almost well distributed.
Yes.
Equally distributed.
Yes. And the students are enrolled at the class 6 level. So we have a selection test, and most of the students, this examination is very competitive because many people want to send their children to EMRS Gangyap. I think we have been doing quite a good job looking at the admission, the demand for the students.
Yes.
So that's about it, the geography and the number of students and the community of our school.
All right, thank you, sir. The next question which we basically want to know about EMRS Sikkim. What is the vision and mission of particularly your school located in Sikkim? Because as far as we know, there are 5 EMRS schools located in Sikkim. So what is the vision and mission of your school?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there are 4 Eklavya Model Residential Schools in Sikkim. And we were the first one to start in 2007. So the vision, as visualized by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, was to provide the tribal students with a public school education ambience, because it was seen that most of the tribal students especially from these remote parts of the state, could not afford a proper public school education. And as it is, the tribal students were not faring very well when you look at it in a general picture.
Yes,
So
yes.
that was one of the main objectives, to give them a good public school education. So when this school started in 2007, we stuck to this, like we were very firmly stuck to this vision, and we tried to do everything that a good public school would do. And so uh, we wanted to create a very homely ambience for the students, so that the children would not feel very homesick, a home away from home. And initially, that was how it started, man. Um, so that's with the vision. And then there were a lot of challenges, though. There were a lot of challenges, though, initially, and there are still a lot of challenges even now. But sticking on with what the vision was, I think, ma'am, we are faring quite okay so far.
All
Ma'am, what is the
right.
second part of the question?
So the question second part is how your school is different from other schools. Basically, how
Oh,
EMRS Gangyap is different
yes.
and is a unique school.
We,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
yes. Ma'am, we give a lot of opportunities to the students to become leaders, to showcase their talents. We give them a lot of opportunities. And we we treat our students with a lot of respect. Children, I think, given with that respect, they tend to look at the world in a different way. I think these are some of the highlights, and I think this also brings about a better connection with the students, and attachment also, because every year we have so many students passing out from the school, and yet the attachment with them and with the school remains. So I think this is one of the unique things about our school.
Right. This is so beautiful because I think giving opportunity to students is something really matter, because they're the future leaders of the country, of their community, and it's very,
Definitely.
important to inculcate strong leadership values and skills in them, and to make them definitely not just a responsible citizen but an efficient leader. So I think there you're doing a great job, sir.
So we have all the
Thank you.
activities, so we can have a look on what challenges you have faced as being a principal, and what all strategies you adopted, which you have showcased in a beautiful PowerPoint presentation. So
Yes, ma'am.
it's there in the PowerPoint presentation. So you can please
Yes, ma'am.
explain us what beautiful
Yes.
strategies you have adopted, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, well, to begin with, challenges have been immense. As I said before, challenges have been immense. Firstly, when the school was established in the year 2007, one of the biggest challenges was how to. I had to orient, like I had to inform the parents, the community about what the school was all about, and why was this school known as a model school, and what was so different about this school. And I think there was a gap in this understanding, because what we wanted and what the parents and the community expected, there was a huge gap. Fortunately, one of the strategies that came about was building a very good team. So the early teachers who were there with me, we built a very good team. They all have been emerging as very good leaders, and I think like this enabled us to go past these challenges. When we talk about challenges, since Gangyap is situated in a very remote area, we had immense water problems, electricity problems. Uh, Even now, we have a lot of internet issues as such. But at the time when the school was built, there was practically no infrastructure at all. There was no infrastructure at all, and we had to initially run our schools in small temporary shelters. And because of that, that created quite a huge problem. But we took advantage of that situation also. Since we were lacking books, textbooks initially, we taught our children things beyond the textbook. And I think some of the challenges, I mean, like more challenges that I can talk about is the children were also lacking in exposure. They were lacking in confidence. And I almost forgot to mention that, see, when this school started in 2007, there was a, like a group of 52 students that was enrolled only in class 6. We started the school with just class 6. And many of these students actually were dropouts from the earlier schools. Many of them had not been doing very well in academics in their previous schools and had been detained in several classes. So many of them, there was a tendency of them being a little bit overage for their class also. They were not at all familiar with the use of the English language as such. So these were the early challenges. But some of the strategies, like I mentioned before, teamwork was a key, was very important at that time. And I also took in, co-curricular activities and sports. You see, because one of the biggest, another big challenge was how to keep them interested in school, how to retain them in school.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just remember
52
our conversation which we had, that we have
Yes.
a beautiful video, and there's a team of girl students. You have
Yes.
the team being representative at the national level also. So we would like to
Yes,
see that video, sir.
Sure, man. The audio.
The girls of Gangyap, to begin with, was a simple project that I had in mind years ago. A game to keep them occupied, something to give them confidence, something to enjoy, something to have a passion for.
We are the girls of Gangyap!
The students, most of them actually are from the agricultural background.
Maximum of us didn't know the game earlier.
When I first came to the school, there was only a mud court, and it was not proper also.
It was like mud, all like this, it was like rough surface and all that. There was this one post and I was like, oh, okay, this is so-called basketball, okay.
Basketball is very new for us, especially in Sikkim, but every one of us wanted to learn something different. Then slowly we started building our own court.
They were very passionate, they were very hungry to learn, very disciplined.
As soon as the balls from here, so we have the other positions, right?
Our coach, he always taught us to dream big. He always taught us to think differently. That was like our motivation.
Whenever any player played really well, I normally used to gift them with something that had to do with basketball or the NBA, maybe like basketball posters and all that. As the months went on, actually, the girls just rapidly improved, They became huge NBA fans and picked up the game so quickly. With every passing year, we started to dominate, and then we went on to win the national CBSE National Basketball Championship in 2011, and then once again won the entire national championship in 2013 too.
We won the championship all because of, we can say, our coach and our hard work. Now I represent Madhya Pradesh in senior nationals.
I got selected in state team. After that I went on playing national team. And after that, I got selected for Senior Indian Women's Camp.
Despite all the struggles, the obstacles that these girls had to go through, it's amazing to see how they have come up on top, When there was no road, these girls dug a road, for themselves out, and they've emerged as role models.
Court balance. You have to balance the court. You are running on the court, but you don't know where you are running.
The main team has left the school, but whenever we come for vacations, we meet. We are like sisters. and we joke around, party somewhere.
We believe in ourselves to achieve big goals, and we are very passionate about it. And if we believe that if we are passionate, if we are interested, we can do anything. My dream is to play for represent my country first, and if possible, I want to go to WNBA.
Well, that is so inspiring and so motivating. You know, girls are confident, they're sports person, and I really like the tagline, "The best never rests." That's very interesting.
Thank you, ma'am. This was a video. There was a team of people from the National Basketball Association, NBA, and this video was telecasted by Sony 6 as well.
It's very nice.
So what all changes have you witnessed in your girls after being selected and after being into this, you know, on this big platform? How their confidence boosted, or the learning outcomes enhanced, or what changes you have seen as a school leader, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Huge. The changes have been huge, actually, because basketball, music, debate, drama, so many of the co-curricular activities initially was started to instill confidence, and that was a huge success because their confidence grew, and alongside with that, the learning outcomes, the academic performances was, I mean, like something amazing, because as I mentioned earlier, many of these students were actually dropouts. Some of them were had been detained in their previous classes, but within a couple of years, they started to perform very well, be it science, be it mathematics, be it English, be it social science. They were excelling in creative writing as well. They had developed a love for reading, something that is so uncommon in this present times. So many of these students now actually emerged as state toppers during the class 10 CBSE board examinations,
Dropouts turning out
as
to
well
be
as the class
toppers.
12.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, dropouts turning out to be toppers. It is a such example of the school under your esteemed leadership, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Like I said before, the team of teachers that worked alongside me were, I mean, like they also had a huge role to play, and the students themselves, they realized, because like when you're on the basketball court, you have to make decisions within a fraction of a second, or like some of our students during our musical shows, tribal students, once upon a time, who were not doing well in the academics, were actually now singing songs and narrating, the musical stories in front of audiences, having over 1,000 people, 1,500 people, very learned people in the audience also. So I think all this played a huge role in boosting their confidence and eventually in their academic performances. Now they are all doing very well in life. Man.
Right, sir. So, like you've been a school leader, and you talked about challenges and strategies that you adopted, to bring students to your school and to do something really good for them. You convinced the families. Were there any other challenge also, and were there some other useful strategies also that you adopted so that enrollment increases and students come, their parents, the community understand the value of education? Because you said many of these students are first generation students. So were there other challenges also, sir, and some more strategies?
Yes, I mean, like the success that came out through sports, success that came out through the academic results at the CBSE and through music, that itself had attracted a lot of students. There were many parents that wanted to enroll their students in EMRS Gangyap.
Right.
But apart from that, I think we emphasized a lot on value education for the students as well. We would ask them to do, during those days, we had the CCE, the Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation, and a lot of formative tasks during those days. And we used to ask our students to come out with projects, group work that would actually allow the students to, go out of their classrooms, go into the neighboring primary schools, the neighboring the government schools, and uh, maybe, like impart some education there. And they started to adopt certain students, in their own ways and look after them. And they educated. I mean, like, this was something quite amazing, because our students themselves were very young. I mean, like, they were not
Yes.
adults as yet.
You're right, sir.
So
And I'm
these kind of
sure.
stories.
Yes, yes. I'm sure it
Sorry?
all added to their mental health also, I'm sure
Definitely,
they've
definitely.
become strong mentally and confident.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Their mental health, like I said, they were very confident, very
Yeah.
positive, and there were so many people that would visit our school. Like well-wishers, maybe government officials. So many people would pass by our school, and then they would say that they could feel themselves being energized because of the positive ambience
Yes,
that
yes.
probably the students radiated. So that was
Thank
something
you.
amazing.
Thank you so much, Siddharji. So it
Yes.
counts for the next question for you. What you have basically done, what EMRS and the students of EMRS are particularly doing for the community and society, for the nation?
Yes. Ma'am, we're doing quite a fair bit, I think. Like I said, the village Gangyap is a very remotely located area, and most of the senior population have not received proper education, or maybe no education at all. So through the school, we do a lot of community awareness programs. We have community runs. Sometimes we, like sensitize the people from the villages on, like human trafficking, or uh, bullying, anti-drugs, alcohol. So we do a kind of these things. Then we have a very good Red Ribbon Club, and it always involves the people from the villages, about different issues that people need to know about. We have a lot of these things, ma'am, and sometimes our students also, we take our students out to the villages, maybe to a monastery, maybe to the primary schools. We do a lot of cleaning up. We build gardens for them. We used to do that in the past, whitewashing some of the walls and so on. So, ma'am, that way we have established a good connection between the community and the school too.
That's great, sir. So we have a lot of activities which are there in the PPT. So we can have a discussion on all the activities what EMRS is doing. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I could see
Ma'am,
that in the PPT,
yes.
lots and lots of activities like co-scholastic, sports and other co-curricular activities. So please elaborate on some of them.
Yeah, ma'am. Our school has also, we've tried to provide a platform for many other schools, so that there can be some healthy interaction between, our schools and many schools from the neighboring areas, as well as from the district. So we've had quiz competitions for the schools where we would host them. We've had basketball tournaments where we would invite different schools from the state to come and participate. Many of them were just learning, but we tried our best to motivate them and encourage them. We've even had inter-school fests where we've invited, where our school has not participated or competed. We've just played the host. And many of our students have actually hosted these programs. So I think that is again another thing for school leadership also. So from quiz masters to organizing event management and everything, reception, and so the students were in charge. So I think this has contributed a lot to their school leadership also. To enhance their learning, we've introduced games like Sudoku, chess, Scrabble, word games, because children were, like I said in the beginning, they were a little bit unknown to the English language. So now, like through these games, through these activities, today we can label them as joyful learning also. And the children used to just enjoy these activities. They used to actually look forward to schools. We've had a number of exchange programs from our own end. We had a group of students from the United States of America called Where They Be Dragons. So they would come to our school. They visited our school twice, and they would exhibit their skills, their talents, and then our students would do the same. and sometimes we would combine together and have a performance as the slide shows you. We've also had pen pals from Australia and from different places as well. Sometimes our basketball team would be invited by different schools in the state, where our girls were actually asked to give tips, pointers, help other schools develop their basketball teams also. So this was also quite a huge thing for us then. So we won the CBSE National Basketball twice. And I forgot to mention the first time we won it, that was in 2011. We won the tournament, the CBSE National Tournament in Tamil Nadu, despite not having a proper basketball court. So we had a very tiny patch of ground. We had to ask the landowners to lend us that particular patch of ground. It was in the middle of a maize field. So the students got busy, cut off the maize and leveled up the ground. And so that's how they learned. We just put up temporary posts. But they were so dedicated, so passionate, they went on to beat all the schools. Having such excellent facilities, we went on to win the CBSE Nationals then. The library at EMRS Gangyap is always one of the, I guess, the most favorite haunts of the students as well as the teachers. We have a lot of books. The children go there, not just books, they enjoy comics and they enjoy music, drink a cup of coffee or tea, while reading with this book. Just anything to help them enjoy this particular place. And we've had a number of avid readers. So there are many people, many students who have finished school now, finished their colleges, finished their higher education as well. And once in a while, we always talk about a certain, a new book that has come out or something. So it's really nice to see that their love for reading has continued. A lot of drama has always been one of our strong points. And that is the scene from The Merchant of Venice. We do a lot of Shakespeare and, we used to do a lot of these plays in the past. Musical plays have been 2-hour-long plays, stories and, subplots and, with music and singing. So that has always been there. This other slide is a picture of a student, Miss Nima Doma. She has also represented the country in basketball. She's currently working at the railways. And this is a slide where she is the quiz master. And the students are all watching. So the junior students also, tend to want to be like these seniors. And I think the seniors pass on so much to the juniors. So this has always been one of our systems. Excursions. We've taken our students to different places. That's the picture of the basketball team enjoying at the beautiful Taj Mahal. The other slide, the picture is at Zongri. Zongri is the base camp of Mount Kanchenjunga, and it's a 2-day trek away from the school. So we went there, and then the children would sit down and write their poems and their experiences.
So what about this blue coat?
Motivate the students.
What is this blue coat symbol?
The blue coat is a symbol of excellence. So the students who have a blue coat have excelled in some discipline. It could be basketball, it could be academics, it could be football, it could be music, it could be service, it could be leadership as well. And there are many junior students in the junior classes who have this ambition. When I become a senior, I will want to have a blue coat. So this drives them, it motivates them to excel. That is a picture of the the inter-school fest. Our students with the maroon blazers are standing in the front, and behind them are the students of the different schools. We had almost, I think, 16 to 17 schools from the district participating in this 2-day fest, man. Teachers also, like I mentioned before, excellent team of teachers. And our teachers are very sporty, very fun-loving, and they participate in a lot of activities. And this breaks down the the curtain, I guess, between so teachers are very accessible now to the students. So students are at ease, they do not fear the teachers, and I guess this has also contributed to the success of our results. We have a STEM lab. This is thanks to the district, Gyalshing district of West Sikkim, and the children enjoy. This is to enhance their scientific skills and scientific, their interest in science. The toppers, like I mentioned before, the children have been doing very, very well, and I think it's important to mention the fact that we do not only stress on the ones who are topping the school every year. Something that I would like to mention is the students who are at the bottom of that particular class actually emerge, they themselves, with whatever mark they have, with whatever percentage they have, are actually scoring higher than many of the school toppers of the neighboring schools. We try to give a very good farewell ceremony to the outgoing batch, and this is, I think, a unique practice. Every class gives a different pre-farewell party, and the entire school also. Then I have my own pre-farewell party, and they dress up, ladies and gentlemen, and so I think this brings about a lot of respect, and they like to be respected, and we give them that respect, and in turn they also respect. I think this is something that has been very, very good, ma'am. This next slide is some community service, whitewashing the chotens, the stupas at Sinan Monastery. This is a monastery located close by. And at the time when the students went up to Zongri, that was about 13,000 feet high, the base camp, we noticed that the springs were very polluted. That high up altitude, it was very sad to see that the streams were very polluted, maybe by the tourists, maybe by the trekkers. So we actually spent a couple of hours cleaning up the streams and the areas around it, as community service.
All right.
So you talked about your teachers who are building up future leaders. You talked about students who are contributing in the community service as well, and they're basically they're excelling in what they're doing, be it education, be it sports or music. I'm sure you're doing, you're giving your 100% or 110% as a school leader, and your journey has been really, inspiring and motivating. As a school leader, what message would you like to convey to your fellow school leaders across the country, how they can, do little efforts to make their school a symbol of, I would say, integrity, a symbol of, having students that are not just good leaders, but good human beings also. So your message to the fellow school leaders, and also what, according to you, are the characteristics of an effective school leader?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I've always been inspired by this quotation. The quotation states that if at the end the student does not become better than the teacher, then the teacher is a failure. So it is this quotation that has scared me. So whenever I teach students, I want to ensure that at the end of the day, they are much better human beings than myself. Beautiful. They are better than me in whatever field that they take up. And this is something that I would like to share with all my other school leaders as well also. Because I think that's the important thing. Looking at the future, I think in the past, the world has made a number of mistakes, and that has led to a lot of calamities and disasters and all that. So if we can, give whatever best we have, the best qualities in us to the students, and the students become better than us eventually, I think the world would definitely be a better place, ma'am.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. So you are a leading example and leading an EMRS in Sikkim, and with so much of challenges, and you are still not you're taking a lead and in a rightful manner, and your students are achieving the higher positions. So to wind up, we can have a short video to wind up your journey as a school leader, and I'm sure we all are motivated, we all are grateful to have a school leader like you who is leading an EMRS so beautifully in such a beautiful scenario and overcoming all the challenges. So we can have a last video.
This is a very unique story. It's a story of hope. It's a story that inspires you. It wants to make you want to be a better person, because they don't see, they are all first generation learners. They come from the poorest of the poorest families. This is a centrally funded school. It's a tribal school where the kids, I mean, they probably never saw basketball in their lives before they joined the school, you know.
The girls come from very humble backgrounds, and the families all belong to the farming sector, agricultural backgrounds, and these children, when they go back home, they have a lot of domestic work to do. They go to the fields, work in the fields, milk the cows, cut fodder, and the cleaning, and I mean, like, it's a different background for them.
I don't know how they managed to, you know, the undulating terrain. I don't know how they managed to level them out, and they put up some boards, and that's how they were practicing.
When we heard that we were going to get a new basketball court, the players were absolutely thrilled, and the girls made stone chips and carried cement, did a lot of labor work, you know.
From making their own basketball courts, to carrying the stones, to, you know, cementing the floor, to, you know, I mean, hats off to these girls, yeah.
A very small school in such a rural area in Gangyap, doing so well at the national level. In fact, they are the best basketball schooling team in India. Considering the fact that Siddharth is not even a basketball player, or he never had any professional coaching regarding basketball, I mean, it's just amazing, you know. This story should reach out to everybody. In fact, if not at the international level, it should at least reach out to all the states in India. And, you know, this story, it's a story which needs to be told to everybody. It's basically, I think it's very important for people to know what the school is doing. The school, which is very humbling. If you go there and you see the school, then you will know what I'm talking about.
I can liken their performance, I would love to call it a performance, on the court, I guess, to a dance of a butterfly, you know, because their movements are so fast, but they are also mid-air. It's as if I saw them change direction while they were leaping mid-air. You know, they were that agile.
The team is like very strong, no words. It's like they're very united, you know. They're not selfish.
It wasn't just that they were excellent athletes. They were also genuine, kind people with integrity.
You could see the effort they've put in, like coming from a small place. It was like watching a movie, looking at the struggle and how far they've reached.
People who usually have really amazing skills in basketball or football, they tend to show it off, and then they have an ego about it, right? But they were different.
Thank God I played basketball when they were not around. I just have to say that much, because I would not want to play with them.
I knew they were good, but to see them, you have to actually see them to believe how good they are, you know.
So that's the leading team and the leading school head from EMRS Gangyap, Sikkim. So the school only demonstrates that the school is not only good in academics but also in the co-curricular activities. So congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And that was a beautiful journey that we witnessed in this session, you know, and very inspiring and very motivating. But, you know, I just feel like listening to you more and more and watching these videos. I'm completely awestruck with that lush green beauty your school is surrounded with. And but you know, we are running short of time and we have to wrap up this conversation here. But thank you so much, Mr. Siddharth Yonzon, for your valuable contribution to the session. And that tagline suits you aptly: best never rest. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Right. And we would also like to thank Ms. Tripti Singh for her valuable contribution. Thank you so much, ma'am. And now it's time for me to wrap up this live and interactive session. Today, in this session, we discuss leading an Eklavya model residential school in Gyalshing district, Sikkim. So with this, it's a wrap, but for educational programs and more of information, please stay tuned to our channel. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you. Namaskar.